and she felt somewhat alone. But there, after all, were the lizards and the little garter snakes. The wretched, hardened little piece of untrained nature has grown and developed into a woman, young and alone. For the child there was a nothingness, and for the woman there is a great nothingness. Perhaps the devil will bring me something in my lonely womanhood to put in my wooden heart. But the time when I was a child will never come again. It is gone, gone. I may live through some long, long years, but nothing like it will ever come, for there is nothing like it. It is a life by itself. It has naught to do with philosophy or with genius or with heights and depths or with the red sunset sky or with the devil. These come later. The time of the child is a thing apart. It is the planting and seed time. It is the beginning of things. It decides whether there shall be brightness or bitterness in the long after years. I have left that time far enough behind me. It will never come back. And it had a nothingness, do you hear? A nothingness. Oh, the pity of it, the pity of it. Do you know why it is that I look back to the horizon at the figure of an unkempt, rough child, and why I feel a surging torrent of tears and anguish and despair? I feel more than that, indeed, but I have no words to tell it. I shall have to miss forever some beautiful, wonderful things because of that wretched, lonely childhood. There will always be a lacking, a wanting, some dead branches that never grew leaves. It is not deaths and murders and plots and wars that make life tragedy. It is nothing that makes life tragedy. It is day after day and year after year and nothing. It is a sunburned little hand reached out and nothing put into it. January 26th. I sit at my window and look out upon the housetops and chimneys of Butte. As I look I have a weary, disgusted feeling. People are abominable creatures. Under each of the roofs live a man and a woman, joined together by that very slender thread, the marriage ceremony. And their children, the result of the marriage ceremony. How many of them love each other? Not 2 in 100, I warrant. The marriage ceremony is their one miserable, petty, paltry excuse for living together. This marriage rite, it appears, is often used as a cloak to cover a world of rather shameful things. How virtuous these people are, to be sure, under their different roof-trees. So virtuous are they indeed that they are able to draw themselves up in the pride of their own purity when they happen upon some corner where the marriage ceremony is lacking. So virtuous are they that the men can afford to find amusement and diversion in the woes of the corner that is without the marriage rite, and the women may draw away their skirts in shocked horror and wonder that such things can be, in view of their own spotless virtue. And so they live on under the roofs, and they eat and work and sleep and die, and the children grow up and seek other roofs and call upon the marriage ceremony even as their parents before them. And then they likewise eat and work and sleep and die, and so on, world without end. This also is life, the life of the good, virtuous Christians. I think, therefore, that I should prefer some life that is not virtuous. I shall never make use of the marriage ceremony. I hereby register a vow devil to that effect. When a man and a woman love one another, that is enough. That is marriage. A religious rite is superfluous, and if the man and woman live together without the love, no ceremony in the world can make it marriage. The woman who does this need not feel the tiniest bit better than her lowest sister in the streets. Is she not indeed a step lower, since she pretends to be what she is not, plays the virtuous woman, while the other unfortunate pretends nothing? She wears her name on her sleeve. If I were obliged to be one of these, I would rather be she who wears her name on her sleeve. I certainly would. The lesser of two evils always. I can think of nothing in the world like the utter littleness, the paltriness, the contemptibleness, the degradation of the woman who is tied down under a roof with a man who is really nothing to her, who wears the man's name, who bears the man's children, who plays the virtuous woman. There are too many such in the world now. May I never, I say, become that abnormal, merciless animal, that deformed monstrosity, a virtuous woman. Anything devil but that. And so, as I look out over the roofs and chimneys, I have a weary, disgusted feeling. January 27th. This is not a diary. It is a portrayal. It is my inner life shown in its nakedness. I am trying my utmost to show everything, to reveal every petty vanity and weakness, every phase of feeling, every desire. It is a remarkably hard thing to do, I find, to probe my soul to its depths, to expose its shades and half-lights. Not that I am troubled with modesty or shame. Why should one be ashamed of anything? But there are elements to one's mental equipment so vague, so opaque, so undefined. How is one to grasp them? I have analyzed and analyzed, and I have gotten down to some extremely fine points. Yet still there are things upon my own horizon that go beyond me. There are feelings that rise and rush over me overwhelmingly. I am helpless, crushed and defeated before them. It is as if they were written on the walls of my soul chamber in an unknown language. My soul goes blindly seeking, seeking, asking. Nothing answers. I cry out after some unknown thing with all the strength of my being. Every nerve and fiber in my young woman's body and my young woman's soul reaches and strains in anguished unrest. At times, as I hurry over my sand and barrenness, all my life's manifold passions culminate in utter rage and woe. Waves of intense, hopeless longing rush over me and envelop me round and round. My heart, my soul, my mind go wandering, wandering, ploughing their way through darkness with never a ray of light, groping with helpless hands, asking, longing, wanting things, pursued by a demon of unrest. I shall go mad. I shall go mad, I say over and over to myself. But no, no one goes mad. The devil does not propose to release anyone from a so beautifully wrought artistic damnation. He looks to it that one's senses are kept fully intact, and he fastens to them with steel chains the demon of unrest. It hurts. Oh, it tortures me in the days and days. But when the devil brings me my happiness I will forgive him all this. When my happiness is given me, the unrest will still be with me, I doubt not, but the happiness will change the tenor of it, will make it an instrument of joy, will clasp hands with it and mingle itself with it, the while I, with my wooden heart, my woman's body, my mind, my soul, shall be in transports. I shall be filled with pleasure so deep and pain so intense that my being's minutest nerve will reel and stagger in intoxication, will go drunk with the fullness of life. When my happiness is given me, I shall live centuries in the hours, and we shall all grow old rapidly, I and my wooden heart and my woman's body and my mind and my soul. Sorrow may age one in some degree, but happiness, the real happiness, rolls countless years off from one's fingertips in a single moment, and each year leaves its impress. It is true that life is a tragedy to those who feel. When my happiness is given me, life will be an ineffable, a nameless thing. It will seethe and roar, it will plunge and whirl, it will leap and shriek in convulsion. It will quiver in delicate fantasy. It will writhe and twist. It will glitter and flash and shine. It will sing gently. It will shout in exquisite excitement. It will vibrate to the roots like a great oak in a storm. It will dance. It will glide. It will gallop. It will rush. It will swell and surge. It will fly. It will soar high, high. It will go down into depths unexplored. It will rage and rave, it will yell in utter joy.